welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Grant Browning and
Alyssa Mahadeo.
And we have a very special guest today. We have Mr. Jay Brijpaul in the building. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
So, Jay, for everyone who doesn't know you, Jay is a RE/MAX.
Yes, I'm a broker for RE/MAX for the past 30 years.
30 years. And how many houses exactly have you sold?
I don't know exactly.
Doesn't even know that's how many.
Would be closer to almost 4,000 homes.
Wow. That's crazy. So you've been in the market for a long time.
Yes, older than you.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, everything is older than me.
You can't make an assumption now. Come
30
on.
years, 30 years in the industry.
No, it's true. See, I'm glad. Thank you.
Alyssa's actually 40, but she just looks like she's 20, so it's all good. So, Jay, you've been doing some phenomenal work in the community. Why don't you give everybody, for our viewers who may not know who you are, give us a little bit of a rundown of your team and what you do in the community.
Yeah, a couple of different things. Number one, within the real estate industry, my philosophy is always to empower through education.
Okay.
I find that if the community is better educated, they will do better. I reflect back when I first came to Canada. Living with my sister, said, here, take your time, buy the most expensive furniture. Because when you move, you don't have to buy again.
Okay.
Was a wrong advice. I mean, you should have told me, hey, you know what, don't buy anything much, save the money and buy your first house. I would have probably much better off. Right? At that point, moving back. Similarly, in the industry, what I find that if people have the right guidance, they can make better decisions in their life. Let me roll it back to give you an example. One of my clients bought a property in 1990. That time he had paid $200,000 for that property, a lovely bungalow in Rexdale. Right, $200,000. Initially, his deposit was $50,000. Let's fast forward. Over 25 years, he collected $18,000 per year for 25 years, 27 years now. That worked out to be about close to $400,000 in rental income. That's not the only situation here. The next thing what we look at, over that time, the property has appreciated from $200,000 to $700,000.
Nice.
So he made $400,000 from rent. He made $500,000 from equity. That's $900,000. His initial investment was only $50,000. And that's not the beauty. This is the beauty. Over the 25 years, he took out $100,000 3 more time from that property and bought 3 other properties, each generating about $1,500 per month. 4 properties times $1,500 times 12 is $72,000 per year residual income every year. Forget the property, how much they went up in value. And that was just $50,000. Real estate is a sure but slow long-term growth. Start as a trickle, become a tiny stream, and before you realize it, it's flooding. It's flooding, yes.
There's some numbers that you can't even wrap your mind around. You're like,
right?
Yeah.
So with that story though, with the current inflation and stuff like that, like the prices that the houses are now, would you recommend someone still doing that?
Investing, yes. If you're in the game for a long term, Grant, you would not lose because you're in it for the long haul.
Okay.
The people that really suffer are the speculators. I've seen exactly today's market. I've seen it in '89 in that market. In 1989, the interest rate though was 11 3/4, climbed to about 13.5, and the market just collapsed overnight. Right? What's the difference in that market and this market? It's about the same in certain ways. Around then, we used to see property advertised was $200,000, now $225,000. That's how they usually put the ads out. Then. Today is was a little bit different. Is that, well, they put the property at 700,000. There is bidding on the property. They got 900,000. Now, what have changed? Really, all that have happened is that the government came out with a couple of announcements. And they said, here, we are looking into this. The real estate market is going crazy, and we will put a stop to it. First, we will tax foreign buyers right now, off the bat. Foreign buyers, just like in Vancouver, is just less than 5%, about 3%. And these are people who can afford to pay over $1 million for a home. A 4 or 5% tax is really a toll for them. Doesn't mean anything for them, right?
So do you think that's what slowed down the market?
That did not slow the market down.
Okay.
What did happen? Let's assume that there are 10 properties on the market.
Okay.
You have the speculators bought up 8 of those properties. It means only 2 properties remaining for, let's say, 10 buyers to buy. So they are fighting over it and they're overbidding.
Okay.
Okay.
If you want to go to the Leafs game, there is no tickets. You go on the street, there are tons of tickets at much more the price, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Similar situation with real estate. When the government came out with the news, the speculators got a little bit scared. So they said, hey, I'm not buying. Now that 10 properties sit on the market, right? Now you have more properties because they take care of the buyer needs. You and the 3 of us, we own 5 properties each that we are buying, hoping to flip it in another 4 or 5 months and make $100,000 each. We start to dump them on the market too.
Fast.
That create a huge number of surplus in the market. And guess what the buyers did now? Buyers go back, sit on the fence and say, ha, I'm watching the game.
Yeah, yeah.
All right? That's what caused a turnaround in the market, really. Nothing different in Vancouver. If you notice, Vancouver climbed again. I will envision by February, you will see the market taking off again. Market follows 2 cycles. Every year, regardless of the year, the pattern is around mid-January, you got a huge growth in the activity of real estate. When the kids are out of school, June, it comes down. In September, you got a little bit more growth, and it came down around mid-November to December. Right? This is the worst time for a seller to put their home on the market.
Okay.
Best time to sell your market is off-season.
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 And people don't know that. People think that during the season they should sell, like especially in the summertime because the weather's nice and whatnot.
Right. That's the worst time to sell your home.
See, I didn't even know this.
That's the best time to go and buy your home. You can negotiate more. Right? Everyone, their cottage country, wonderland, picnic,
they sell
barbecues.
in the winter.
Right. Winter months are the best month to sell the property. That's why all the bidding wars take place around January, February, March. You never see the bidding wars in July and August. The nature of the country.
With the prices now coming back down, 2 questions. I'm sure everybody asks, I purchased a house when it was high. What happens now that the prices are going low?
Right.
Why don't you answer that question first?
Okay,
Or that one first?
sure. The problem what happened, because the market was constantly moving up, the trend was that here, I'll buy a home and I'll sell my home later because both properties are going up. I'll make more money in my home and the one that I bought is going up in value. Suddenly, the reverse is happening. Both properties are coming down in value.
Yeah.
You bought a home for $1 million and it's going for $975,000. You try to get your home sold, and your value in your home has also come down $150,000. The way the banks work, you as the buyer, the bank will send an appraiser now. I find that the bank, although the property was appraised in the earlier time, the bank wants a new appraisal done. They will lend you money based on the new appraised value.
Wow.
It's hurting people.
Big time, because your property, you bought it at 1.1, it's going 900,000. The
Yeah.
bank will lend you, let's say you're borrowing 80% of 900,000, not out of 1.1. You got to come up with that 200,000 off your pocket.
Plus the 20% that you would have to put down too.
Definitely. Plus, remember, your property that you're hoping to get that extra money is coming down too.
So basically what you're saying then is if I purchased the home, say at 1.1, it's now valued at 900,000, I now have to come up with the difference?
You got to come up with the difference.
Even though I already have the mortgage for it?
The bank will lend you based on the appraised value.
So if it starts going down, then they can actually pull the mortgage on you.
Yes.
And this is something a lot of people don't know, because a lot of realtors try and sell you on the fact, because we get realtors knocking on our doors all the time saying the house up the street just sold for so and so, and they try and get you in because it's business to them.
Of
right?
course, of course. That's
Yeah.
why people, I always advise them, the bank's criteria is always there to protect the consumer. Where most of our people make their mistakes is that they said, you know what, I'll go to a mortgage broker, I'll do A, B, C, and D, and jump some hoops and pay for the mortgage. However, if it does not satisfy the bank's criteria, which are two formula they use, one called a GDS ratio, and one called a TDS ratio. GDS means
yeah, I was gonna
gross
ask you.
debt ratio.
Yep.
That's the amount of money they will qualify to buy a home. And TDS means total debt service. That must, the bank says here, 42% of your income must go to pay for your home, pay for your car, for everything else. The rest you can live on. And 32% of your income can go towards your home. Most of the time, brokers out there, mortgage brokers, tell the clients, don't worry, good, bad, or ugly, I take care of it.
Okay.
That's not necessarily true, right? It's I find it a false statement, because the formulas are the same. Now, the problem it's creating in the marketplace is definitely there will be many buyers who have to close transaction, can't come up with their money financially. There are many people who can't sleep at night presently. Right? I have one currently where my seller sold their property for $830,000. The property is scheduled to close today. They are moving out of the country. The buyer that bought the property was a speculator. He paid $823 for the property, and now he can't get his other property sold, so he can't close.
Oh
Our situation is that we will have to now put that property back on the market, sell it, which will sell for less, and then the difference, the shortfall, my client will have to sue him for that. That's how
So
it
now,
works.
wouldn't that also mean that there's more houses then going to go on the market because of this current situation that's happening?
Yes, supply is
Okay,
increasing.
hold on one sec. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get back on this subject.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
You know, one day the camera is actually going to be left on by mistake, and people are going to see what's really going on behind the scenes. So, Jay, just before we went to break, we were quickly talking about is the scenario with your customer that happened where the housing market changed, the buyer changed his mind. Now they got to put it back on the market, and now it's going to be a lot cheaper, so they're going to lose money. We had Jay on the show about 6-8 months ago, and Jay was giving us a whole rundown of what was happening with the market and how it's going to change. I actually showed it to a bunch of people, your show. And a lot of people said, no, it's never going to happen. The housing market's going too fast, too much. If anything, it's going to drop like 1% or 2%, but nothing big. Now it's happening exactly what you said. Guys, that's the reason why you need to do business with Jay.
Change is drastic. I don't think people understand that. Like, things
so
fluctuate.
fast.
Yeah, things fluctuate. I mean, it can go from 0 to 100 real quick.
So, Jay, why don't you explain that diagram and why it's happening?
Well, what tends to happen is very straightforward. See, I will do it here quickly so people can understand that would I be able to see there? No, it may be difficult to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll explain in this way. Let's assume we have 2 axes.
Yep.
We have price here, and we have months here. Okay? The market goes through a bell curve.
Okay.
Okay?
And
If
this
the
is typical. It always happens.
Always,
right?
the market always happens. If you overprice your home, the market is going this way, it will catch it. Okay? However, when you're coming this way, it's dangerous. Because if you price your home even here, and the market is here, you got to drop your price all the way here in a few months. Because time, it's going up, time is your friend. When it's coming down, time is your enemy. Because the longer it sits, the lower price you will get.
And I'm starting to see now houses that are staying in the market longer and longer again.
Yeah, and people are like, oh yeah, no, this is selling in like 2 weeks. And then it's like months have passed and their house is still there.
Right, we will find this carrying on for a decent amount of time. I've envisioned till January or February. Then you will see some change. The speculators, they are jumping out of the market, and they are putting their properties in the market. Many sellers were delaying because the price is constantly going up, right? I got one property out in Scarborough.
So they're trying to cash in, so they're waiting for the best time.
We listed this property in February, but the seller said, Jay, hold on. I said, no, put it on. I said, no, we got time. April market catches, and now they can't sell. They have already come down 200,000 from their price.
Really?
Yep. It's becoming, if the interest rate goes up a little bit, we will see some other nice things happening in terms that affordability will be there. It has a way of correcting itself. Right? Let's look at the younger generation. I mean, based on the income they're getting, right?
We just cry on the
buy a
daily.
home?
We're like, we're never going to buy a home. We're never going to be homeowners, can't buy real estate, can't buy anything. We've given up already.
Yeah, so the balance is nice if we can see a little correction. However, on a long term, real estate, what we think is expensive today, will be far more expensive in another 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
Right?
So the prices will go back up.
Will go up and it will continue to climb. Remember, every year inflation that goes up. With inflation, real estate always acts as a hedge against inflation because the value of your property goes up as well. Has been proven. And if you notice one thing, the old trend is that every 10 years, the market is cyclical. It goes through a various cycle. However, since 1995, the market been going in one direction only, never came down.
Okay.
What's the difference? What happened around 1995, 1993, 1995? The internet came in place. Toronto has become a small, well-known city around the world. We have many foreign investors are
People wanna come
pouring
live
their
here.
money and they want
Yeah.
to come live here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a major factor that caused the price to keep on going up.
Yeah,
And-
because real estate in Toronto itself is like
It's crazy.
It's crazy. You can't
Yeah.
buy even a condo, like a small house in
A
Toronto.
bungalow is
costs-
like
yeah.
$1 million the closer you get to downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. If you are a buyer though and you're really looking for a home, many people they tend to say, "Here, I'll go out further where I could find a home that I want." Real estate works in concentric circle, however. In every city, you look where the center of activity will happen, and then buy within a mile radius of that activity. Just imagine a silent pond and you throw a pebble in it. The first wave that makes is the biggest. That's where most activity is. As you go out farther, the wave is less. In a recession, they are first to drop off the scene. And in a growth, they are last to go up. If you're in the center, you're talking downtown, if you had that same bungalow downtown, in a recession, it still maintained its price. In a growth, it shot up tremendously. I know of this gentleman that bought a home for 1.5 in December in downtown Toronto, sold it by May, he sold it for 2.5.
Wow.
A $1 million profit in less than 4 months. Right, but because where
it's located, yeah.
located.
Yeah.
Most people feel that the money is in the upgrades. No, your money is in your location, then your size, and then your upgrades.
So a lot of people were speculating too with that announcement. I guess it was about 2 months ago of that bank that was having problems. They were speculating that it was going to be in 2008 that happened in U.S. Do you think that still could happen?
Not in Canada. Our banking system is really sophisticated and is being well monitored.
Okay.
Is being well monitored. We don't have the same problem. The problem, what was happening in the States is companies were lending these money as mortgages. No one policed it that much. Then the bank will package all their mortgages together, so we got a portfolio of $20 million, and we'll sell it to an insurance company. So there's no way it's insured. And the insurance company say, hey, we bought all these at bulk. But there were no police in place. For us in Toronto, let me explain how the mortgage system works. Let's say, Grant, you need a mortgage, and I am the manager for TD Bank. I will enter everything in that computer, but the minute I press enter with your information, I technically lost track where it goes.
Wow.
It goes to a central underwriting department, and it's randomly distributed among the underwriters. Right? The underwriters don't necessarily work from Toronto. I had one of them call me from Vancouver, had a certain question, and say, hey, I'm underwriter for Royal Bank, and I have a couple of questions.
That's kind of scary when you think about it.
Right. So really and truly, the way the system is designed here is so beautiful, where a third party look after all information. When it come back to me as a manager, I could only give you what they have given me. Right? That's the beautiful thing about our mortgage system.
Okay.
Even if it have to go through Canada, if someone put, let's say, less than 20% down, then that mortgage has to be insured by Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation. They also do their investigation as well. So in addition to the underwriter, they have their own underwriting department that does that as well.
Okay.
So I don't foresee too much of problem.
much
in the
issues?
States, no.
Now, what about, I guess about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, there was a big craze where everybody wanted to buy in the U.S. Do you recommend that as an investment, or would you still recommend buying something here as an investment?
I have one philosophy. I like to feel and touch and see my investment.
Okay.
Okay. One of the major reason is I know many people who bought property in the States as investment. They have an issue with the sink, and what they have to do, call a third party to go to look after that for them.
Yeah, they can't do it themselves.
They can't do it themselves.
Can't get there, yeah.
No, nothing wrong, but the problem is that these guys know you're out of town. They take more advantages.
Okay.
Give you an example. For me, all my rental property are within a neighborhood that I could literally run from one to the next. And the reason for that, there's a problem, I could send someone out to get that looked after. If I want to go spend a month in the States, I take 1 month of rent, I go, I enjoy a place in the States, and then I come back. I don't have to worry about taxation, I don't have to worry about maintenance, I don't have to worry about, States is different, the home is vacant, you go the next day. The sink is gone, the toilet is gone, your window might be going, right? That's the state.
They take half the house with them.
Right, that's the difference, right? We are here in Toronto, that wouldn't happen, right? So I would not recommend for investment purpose to invest outside of Toronto too much.
Okay.
You want to buy a couple of properties here or there, that's okay. You're getting big, that's okay. But if you are a first-time investor, no, not recommended.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to speak more with Jay about his new program that he's launched. And we'll go from there.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
And welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're listening. Wow. You're
watching
watching
Real
Real Talk with myself, Grant, and Alyssa, and we have special guest, Mr. Jay Brijpaul, from the Bridge team. So if you guys don't know, now you know.
Now you're in the know.
So Jay, you have a new program you launched. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, this program was the inner workings for 2 years. What we realize is a very large sector of our population is about to enter retirement.
Yep.
Right?
It's true.
The problem is that they got their home already paid for. Home has appreciated quite a bit in value. They don't have extra money to enjoy life. All their money is tied up in their home.
In their house, yeah.
There are a couple of options they have. Option number one is to take something called a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage means you go to the bank and the bank will say, hey, you know what? We'll give you back money every month against your property. Let's give you $3,000 a month to spend.
Okay.
Because they want to keep you in debt, right?
Right. So that tack on to your mortgage, it become reverse. The opposite way that mortgage work.
Okay.
But that is compounded as well, and there's much charge in it. Within no time at all, most of your equity will be eroded. Right?
Smart.
Now,
On the bank's part of me.
That's a bank smart, right? Now, I don't think that's wise for our people. What I realize, if we can drive within an hour, let's say to Wasaga Beach, or an hour and a half to Tilsonburg, which is St. Thomas area, you can find a brand new built, let's say, bungalow that you wanted at old age without the stairs, 2 lovely bedrooms, someone cutting the grass, 2 washrooms, for about $450,000. Sold your property at $900,000. You buy something brand new cash for $450, you got $450,000 money free up for you to enjoy your life. Right? That's why we introduce this smart retirement. As we get older, we like more the peace and quiet. The small towns offer these. You have from McDonald's to Milestones. You have,
Can't forget McDonald's.
yes, you have the doctors right there. You can come when you want to Toronto, just an hour drive, an hour and a half drive. You can go fishing by the lake. They have all the different amenities there. Well-designed community. You're not directly into a retirement lifestyle, but more of an adult lifestyle.
Something that's a little bit more convenient, easy to access and stuff.
Yeah, you have everything. Easy to access. You can do what you want to do. You can do that one aspect of it. Another aspect is that there are many places that have adult living, gated communities that cater to these lifestyles as well, where you can sell, move into these areas, and free up your money to enjoy. The challenge I found with many older people is that, hey, you know what, I like the idea, but I don't want to move far from my relative. I like to see my grandkids at weekends. Right? We have another program that works for them. Literally, they can sell their home that they are living in. We have investors that will buy this home at fair market value, not below. But the person have an option of renting it back for 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
So you sell your home for $900,000. You are paying me $2,000 per month rent. You got your money all freed up to enjoy your lifestyle, give your kids a little bit, and your neighbor may not even know you're still there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, 'cause there's no
you
for
can
sale
still
sign
live
that
in
goes
your
up.
house too, right?
Right. You didn't change your home. You're in your home.
Yeah.
Because that's a condition upon sale that you got an option to rent back this property.
There's
There
so
you
many,
go.
like,
That's
little
that's
things.
interesting.
So that's another way that people tend to benefit. That's why we launched this smart retirement, to allow people to free up their cash, and then we will put them on to a good banker that will be able to invest that at a decent rate so they have money to take them along the path.
So Jay, speaking about baby boomers retiring and stuff like that, there's baby boomers that may not have necessarily had a home up till now. Do you recommend them getting into a home? They might be tired of renting. They might, want to get their own proper space, home. Do you recommend them doing that?
I always tell clients this. The best time to plant a fruit tree was 25 years ago. Right?
That's when I was born,
I'm
guys.
trying to give them hope, guys.
The next best time is now. If you can afford it, why get an entire stock of rent receipt?
Yeah.
Right?
I can see that.
Move on, get a home. I mean,
That's why we still live at home with our parents.
yeah, that's what you can save to buy your home. You are in a much better place where you can literally save. Alyssa, and then you take some of that, buy your first investment. Could be a lovely condo,
Yeah.
or rent it out and leave it. Stay with mom and dad for no
Yeah,
months.
for sure. And then just collect rent.
Yeah, and build that portfolio. Don't settle at one. Remember, just 4 property at retirement at $2,000 per month. It's
True.
$96,000 per year cash flow.
Yeah,
To
that's
get that on your RSP, you need $1.5 million at 5% in the bank, right? That sounds
That
impossible,
works.
but the real estate works.
No one's mad about that.
Yeah. You don't-
Wow.
You don't lose.
Wow. Why don't you tell us a little bit? So, Jay, if you guys don't know, Jay is also very proud of the organization that he has, and it's something that that I like and believe in a lot. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, the Caribbean Children Foundation.
Yes.
If I could go back to those years, we had a situation where a child needs surgery that's not available back in the Caribbean. And I could remember this little girl, her name is Nirvana Garib, one of the child that came up. I went to see kids. She was in the hospital. They needed $90,000 for the surgery. Right? Brain tumor. the truth is the word garib means poor in Hindi, right? The hospital will not proceed with the surgery because the child is from Trinidad, child is not a Canadian citizen. As a community, we rallied, we went to various churches, gurdwaras, masjids, fundraising, and we made a commitment to sick kids that we'll pay for Nirvana. She had her surgery, she's okay, she went back. The request was so much, that's when around then I used to, in the early 90s, send the funds across to Georgetown Hospital. Sick kids, they have a pediatric department there. Zero accountability. No one sending a letter, no one know when your check is cashed, you don't know anything. We decided we will do it different. We will bring the kids to the hospital here, and we will pay for the surgery here, not giving anyone any money. Right? So we started out on that basis. Average child at sick kids runs between $15,000 to $25,000 for surgery.
Okay.
Just early last year, we made a switch. We signed a memo with the International Baby Heart Foundation, headed by a doctor named Rodrigo Soto. What they do, they will fly into Guyana. We have two bases that are hubs for the Caribbean presently. One is in Georgetown, Guyana, and one is in DR. The children from the Caribbean will be going to these hubs, and they will get the surgery done there.
Instead of having to come all the way up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Cost of surgery in Guyana, we negotiated 1,500 Canadian per child.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
DR, I managed, I'm a negotiator. DR, I negotiated 500 Canadian per child.
What?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
We just had 17 children that received heart surgery in DR. Right? I want to take this more home base because we get more bang for the buck. We can help a lot more children. We just have signed another contract with Spine Hope in the States. Prior to that, if a child have spinal problem, then minimum sick kid is $25,000. That's what we will pay, and Herbie Fund may chip in as well. Sometime the operation $50,000 to $60,000. It costs us just 10,000 Canadian, and this child will be flown to the States with one of the parent, spend there a month where they cater for the food, cater for the surgery and rehabilitation and everything else, and go back. Now that's amazing because we have to bring them here. We got to put the parents up somewhere. We got to take care of the kids.
There's a lot of expense in doing that.
Yeah, so this way it works out really, really good.
It's smart.
So
it's a smart way, yeah.
How many islands does your initiative work out of? Like how many? Like do you just take them from certain islands, or do you do all the islands?
We do all the islands.
Okay.
So we when we started, we were looking at English-speaking Caribbean only, but now we are open to all the islands, the whole of the Caribbean, and also we include Guyana. Because Guyana is not a part of the Caribbean, but I mean,
that's a sensitive thing, right?
right, it's still part of CARICOM in a way. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is amazing, guys. You got. How can they follow it? What's the website?
They can go to tccfangels.com. That's TCCF, the Caribbean Children Foundation.
Okay.
Angels.com, or my home number 905-840-5369.
Awesome. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back.
Watch Real Talk.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to Real Talk, and we have Grant and Alyssa here.
Do you forget our names sometimes?
It's hot in here today. I don't know what's the matter. I'm just like boiling.
Hey guys, you guys are listening. You guys are watching Real Talk.
See, it's not just me, so we're good.
It's a transition thing. Anyways, we are here with Mr. Jay Brijpaul. Jay, thank you so much, for coming on the show, for discussing with our viewers a little bit about real estate in the market and the current situation. It's really informative, and I think it's important. That's what you guys do as the Bridge team. You guys sit down and you offer other programs as well for people to come and learn more, right?
Yes, we do. In the third week of September, we will be having a first-time investment workshop.
Okay.
These are designed for people who have their home but don't know much about investment, where we teach you from the beginning what to do, how to do it. It's a full classroom session. You receive a workbook, you got questions, right? And we also teach. Then what will happen after that session is being done, you can sign up for the advanced session. There's a cost though.
Well, of course, because
the cost is you do have to make a donation to the Caribbean Children Foundation.
See, and that's not a bad deal at all.
No.
I think that's something you should. And also, in mentioning the Caribbean Children's Foundation, next weekend actually, they're having their 15th annual boat cruise. So it's going to be aboard the Enterprise 2000. So I think that's some fun for the summer, right?
It's fun for the summer. It's Sunday. We usually, over the past 15 years, I developed one bad rep. I started the first one by cooking the curry goat.
Oh. I'm like, I've never heard anything bad about Jay, really?
No, the thing is, I have to do that every year onwards. Last year
people aren't coming unless you're making the goat.
If I don't make people come for the curry goat. Last year I cooked 250 pounds of curry goat.
Jesus.
By yourself?
Yes, with my small son and my nephew. Right? I'll be doing back that again. I start from Saturday night and I finish up at Sunday around 11 o'clock for the boat cruise.
And then how are you taking all of this curry goat?
Big containers.
Take out containers.
Because then you gotta distribute that now to like the small. My goodness, that's a lot of curry goats.
It's a lot of things, but it's now the boat knows that event is the curry goat boat event. So. And
you guys probably get a pretty good turnout, obviously. Right?
So did you change the name of the event?
Yeah, you can come. I mean, for $40, we have jerk chicken, peas and rice, dal puri, curry goat. We have different salad, dessert, chow mein, fried rice. They're all for the vegetarian as well, and dessert and everything as well with that.
Yeah.
And that's for $40. Yeah.
I think
you
that's
can't go
great.
wrong. Plus, it's a boat ride.
Yeah,
you're out in the water, enjoying the evening.
Hours,
and everything is going back to the Caribbean Children's Foundation as well. All proceeds are going back to them, right?
Yes. The charity is a 100% charity. Nobody is being paid. There's zero admin cost. Everything raised goes to help children. And that's about our bottom line.
Because that's what it's about. It's about giving back. Like, think about it. These children need the surgeries. It's life. Like, they're young to think they have to live through their whole life with this illness, And if there's something small you can do, especially to help that way, and allow them to live through the rest of their lives, they all have bright futures out of them.
That's one thing that I have to say I've appreciated about learning more about what you do in the community is everything that you do is about empowering the community and helping. It's not, and I find that you tend to want to align yourself with people like that, the same visions and missions, because together you can make a bigger impact.
Grant, you're so right. I mean, when we really look at the big scheme of things, we are in this earth for a short time.
Right.
And before realizing it, we have to leave this holiday on earth and move on back. Why not do what you can do? It does not diminish me by giving.
Nope.
I did not lose a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, I learned from everyone, and that's what makes a difference.
And we were talking about this yesterday. Actually, I'd heard a speaker a couple days ago that was talking in an interview, and he was saying that if you look at a gravestone, there's 2 dates: the date that you're born and the date that you're done. He said those dates aren't as significant as that dash that's in the middle, because that's where you get to make an actual, disrupt life. You get to make an impact, or you can just exist.
Well, there's an old saying that goes deep down to philosophy. Says that when I die, I will like my final resting place not to be buried deep down in the ground, but to bury deep into the hearts of men.
That's
Legacy.
the only way you're going to be
Deep in
remembered.
the
Legacy.
hearts of men, yes.
Yeah, no one's going to remember you after you're gone if you haven't left an impact.
Well, we wouldn't know anyway. But
I
the bottom
mean,
line-
but in a couple of years, those people will be gone as well, right?
we are in this earth to do good. We have an opportunity to do good, and why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's true. It's true.
It doesn't cost anything.
No?
Jay, I got a question for you.
Yes.
What would you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for being a simple, humble person that always want to give. That will be my life.
Wow. Wow.
It's like, what do you say after that? How do you follow that?
That's awesome, and you're well underway. So that's really
Thank you.
good.
Yes.
Jay, I gotta thank you, man. I know it was last minute when we called you, and
But Jay was rearing to go.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sorry, I gave you the wrong date. These are the things that happens behind the scenes. But
it's important that people get to know who you are and what you're doing in the community. I see you have another one here, the Summer Lime. Is that another one that you want to quickly talk about?
The Summer Lime, it's on August the 5th.
Okay.
It's that's when Caravana weekend,
Yep.
the same day it's finishing up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the nice time to come and finish up at the park. We at
So this is the
Wildwood
last
Park. Right.
Okay.
It's Wildwood Park, and that's at Gorway and Derry.
Yep.
Yeah.
From 12 all the way to 8 at night. We have an amazing group of entertainers. We have barbecue going on. The cost to come in is just $5. It's a $5 donation for the children, and that's it.
Come out, go enjoy some nice weather, food.
Oh yeah, entertainment,
Entertainment, food,
come on
people,
out.
meet some new people.
Right.
Enjoy the weather, because when winter comes back around, guys.
And to all those complaining about the weather, like I
Yes.
actually did when I first came
Whenever
in, because I
Grant
was
says
like,
it's hot, I
it's
ignore him.
muggy in here.
I'm like, Grant doesn't know what hot
Jay
is.
looked at me and Jay looked at me and said, "You better enjoy it. It's quick." So,
yeah,
because 2 months from now we're going to be complaining that it's cold again and
I can't
the
deal.
whole thing.
I'd rather just, the summer's the nicest time.
I love the heat. I don't mind.
The hotter the better. But when I'm inside, I like it to be cool.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I for some reason I don't know, just
Oh.
weird. So
Oh, but that's okay.
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
I'd rather just crack a window.
But we can't do that
I know,
here.
unfortunately.
It's stagnant air. Jay, why don't you give us some final thoughts?
My final thoughts. Good question. I have to think about those final thoughts. But my final thought is this: if you are in the real estate market, if you are a seller out there, planning on selling your home, and you're very frustrated because the market is going down in value, then it might be wise to rent that home out and move into your other home. The reason is that on a long-term real estate value will go up. That's one. However, if you're a buyer and you're waiting on the sideline for price to drop drastically, don't do that, because you'd never know when it will take that turn. I will advise you to shop carefully, look at everything you're looking at, Make sure you have conditions in your agreement for financing and inspection, and even appraisal by the bank, to make sure you're doing the right thing. If you're an investor, there are many people that got caught in a position that they have to sell. For example, one lady called me today. She bought a condo that is closing in about 4 months. Unfortunately, her mom got sick. She wants to move to the States, and she just wants someone to take her contract, what she bought it 4 years ago at. And the price have still gone up. So there are advantages that people can take from there. So that will be the best way to go. And final, please assist us at the Caribbean Children Foundation.
Yes.
Important.
We really need help because we have in September another set of children will be having surgery
Okay.
again. And also, if you know any child from the Caribbean that needs help, please let us know, because we are here to serve, to help this family. We look at children from the poor parentage. I mean, the ones that could afford it, I mean, no point, we help them. We are here for the child who would not have a chance unless someone step in.
And guys, Jay and his foundation have helped over 150 children up to date, and that's incredible. That's I can't stress this enough. You guys got to follow Jay, support Jay either in his initiative for the Children's Foundation or as
For
a
real estate
realtor.
advice, yep.
If you follow him on social media, he does a lot of free videos where you can actually get a lot of important information like what you're hearing here. It's important to support those that support the community, that it's not just about making money, because the money comes. As long as you don't put that as your main source, right? Now, you have to make money to survive. Don't get me wrong, right?
No, but you know, I mean, the way you look at life, never look at money. I'll tell you what you got to do. Imagine wealth and serve are two ends of a scale, and that scale have to be balanced at all time. If you need more wealth, don't look at the bowl that mark wealth. Look at the bowl that marks service and put more in the bowl that marks service. And automatically, that's
the wealth rises.
That will rise.
It's funny you say it, because I've been saying lately too, people won't remember you for the, like, if God forbid something happens to you tomorrow, people are going to go up and say, well, you know, I remember Jay for the Ferrari. I don't know if you have a Ferrari, but for the Ferrari that's in his driveway, I remember the big house he had. People are going to talk about what Jay has done for people. And it's so important to be like that, because like Jay says, I mean, the money will rise with what you're doing servicing the community, but you have to, I remember somebody saying you get paid in direct proportion to the contribution to society.
That's
and
correct.
it's so true.
That's
so
correct.
you just got to go out there and do it, serve.
You gotta serve. You gotta be a servant of the people and serve. So with integrity and with honesty.
That's a whole other show we can get on. So Jay, how can people get a hold of you besides social media? Fire out your office number.
Sure, my cell number is 416-418 Bridge, BRIJ.
Yeah.
Or you can say 2745. It's easy to remember. Actually, 418 spells out I want you. So it's I want you Bridge.
Cool.
I want you. BRIJ.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think I just want to wish everyone, you know, a happy long weekend.
It's Canada
celebrating-
Day.
Yeah,
Oh,
Canada Day
yes,
this weekend,
yes.
celebrating Canada 150. So, you know, go out and enjoy the good weather and have a good time.
Awesome.
Yes, I'll encourage all of you to go out and have a nice time. And you
Yeah.
know, we are blessed to be in a very good country as well. I mean,
Canada's done well for us.
It has. It's one of the top
Yes.
countries to live in.
Everybody
the world.
wants to live in Canada now. Think about it. Everyone's trying to like flock.
Oh yeah. That will cause the real estate to go up. Right?
Exactly.
All right, guys, please subscribe to the channel. And if you are watching this after, leave your comments. We'll be sure to get back to you. If you have any questions for Jay, we can definitely get them answered for you. Or hit him up on his phone numbers that he did. Jay, thank you so much for coming in. Guys, we have to go. We got to cut off. make sure you keep it locked. We'll be back on in about 5 to 10 minutes with the gloves are off. Until then, enjoy your Canada Day long weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grant.
All right.
Real pleasure, right?
Pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right, guys.
You retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.